Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday, which means it's time for a Talk Magic. And today I am talking to one of the most accomplished magicians that I have ever had on this channel. Somebody who is an incredible creator, a producer of magic. His effects are known literally throughout the world, as well as being an incredibly well-known performer as well. I mean, this gentleman that I'm speaking to has done it all, bought the t-shirt and then some. And this is going to be a fantastic interview. I am, of course, talking about the one and only Bond Lee. How are you doing, my friend? Are you okay?
I'm good. Thank you very much for having me right here. It's my pleasure to talk to you and talk to your channel, your audience.
Well, thank you so much for I know how busy you are. I've been trying to do this interview with you now for probably about 6 months. So thanks for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
time. I know that you're always in the middle of a million different things.
Well,
Um,
luckily we have time to do this because I always loved your channel and you always talk about truth about magic. So it's a pleasure to be here to talk to you and enjoy the time of this interview.
Absolutely. Well, and we're going to start at the very, very beginning because obviously anybody who's in magic, they know you as a performer, like I said. They know you because your creations, your magic tricks that you've produced are literally performed by people all over the world. But
Hmm.
I would like to start at the very beginning and find out how you got into magic and kind of what your origin story was. So where did it all start, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I start quite late, not like Ryan when he got magic when he was young. I start when I am in university. When I got in, they get some magic club, things like that. So we join it. At first, I was just, having some fun, learning some few little magic tricks. And slowly, I get more and more into the magic. We learn some basic tricks like ambitious cards or little trick, things like that, and play with some toys. And slowly, starting from there, and they got a performance. They need people to perform with. So I go to a magic shop, buy a few tricks, and the story is quite, similar to a lot of magicians. Buy a few tricks, and then I learn tricks, and I perform for the first time. I feel like when I'm on the stage, I feel like I'm very excited, and I enjoy the feelings a lot. And I just starting from there, and I don't stop till today. And that's a very simple story, but still, it's quite powerful in my life.
Yeah. So when you obviously you make your living from doing magic, from performing and creating magic, when
Hmm.
when did that become the plan? So you're in university, you're obviously doing a degree in something. You
Hmm.
obviously had kind of a plan for how your life was going to work out, which is why you went to university. When
Yeah.
did you get to a point where you kind of thought, well, okay, let's put that on hold, and instead we're going to go and take this hobby, this kind of thing that I've been doing for fun, and I'm going to make that a career. How did that happen?
In fact, this is quite interesting story because there's a few phases that
Hmm.
until I really decide to get into the business of magic. So, after, as I said before, I was in university and I starting to have some little performance, inside the university. Then, at one point, there's a big stage performance. There's around 600 to 1,000 people down there, and I perform at that time, it's ball manipulation,
Hmm.
and it was quite. I practiced a lot for like 3 to 4 months. At that time, I don't spend too much time studying. I just practice magic. So my score doesn't go too well, but still I can survive. But my magic slowly can form into a very special form. At that time, I feel like I've achieved something that no one else can do at that time.
Hmm.
So I try to achieve a little more. I go to some small competitions, some youth competitions, and I luckily I win something, some special awards and some small competition. I win the champion, things like that. But those are just academic, competition, just small stuff. And after that, I have two decisions because I study psychology when I'm in university.
Okay.
So, yeah, and psychology is a very long. road ahead. You have to spend like 5 years, 8 years to become a real psychologist.
Mm.
You have to do a lot of things. You have to study for a long, long time. So I have two decisions. When I almost graduate, I have two decisions. One is to pursue magic. The other is to study psychology. So then I asked my mom that what did you think? Because she's a very great part of my life, and she suggests that you can try it out with your dream first. So if you want to do magic, you try it out for a few years. If it works out, then it works out. If it doesn't work out, then you can turn back because you can study, anything, anytime that you want academically. So um, I choose the route to study magic. So after I graduate, I go to Chevy Studio of Magic in LA, where I study with Dal Sawick, and I keep on going from there. So at that point, it's really the turning points that really push me towards the business of magic. So that's how it goes.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
wow. How long did you give yourself to kind of, you said, right, I'm gonna, first of all, your mom's amazing. I should say that because my mom told me, don't be an idiot, get a proper job. So first of all, your mom's awesome. But
Yes.
second of all, she gave you this advice. Try.
Hmm.
Did you give yourself like a time frame on that? What was your definition of success in terms of you're going to make this work? It was kind of like, well, how long did you give yourself, and at what level did you need to be in order to go, no, this is going to work. Psychology can do one. I'm going to be a professional magician.
Hmm. Well, in fact, I do have a deadline at that time. At that time, when I graduate, I think I'm around 21, 22, something like that. And then I study abroad to USA. So I give myself a timeline is around when I'm 25, I have to have something. I
Mhm.
have to have, at least I can make a living of magic business, because it's quite interesting. It's in Hong Kong, everything is expensive.
Mhm.
uh it's kind of like London. It's crazy. So at that point, it's quite easy to tell if you are doing okay or not. So yeah, so that deadline is basically 2025. If I can make money, can keep myself alive, then I will keep on doing it. If I can do more, then I will do more. And luckily, I achieved, a lot of things before that timeline, and things went quite well. And so I keep doing it.
Wow, that's fantastic. So I have questions about this
Mhm.
because really, really interesting. First of all, from the outside looking in, looking at you as a performer, and not anything to do with creating magic or developing magic, but your career as a performer, you
Hmm.
seem to, at least from the outside looking in, spend most of your time performing on stage, or there seems to be a big element of stage magic.
Yeah.
And these days, that's kind of rare. A lot of
Yes.
people coming into magic now, it's all about close up and being a close up magician. Whilst you went in a different direction, I suppose I have a couple of questions. One, was that by design to try and, kind of thinking, well, close up magic is a very crowded marketplace. I'm going to niche and start doing stage, or did you prefer stage? Like, what made you gravitate towards that
Mm.
aspect of performing?
Now, in fact, this is what the cultural difference. Because many years ago, when I just started magic in Hong Kong, the most popular magic is stage magic.
Oh, wow.
And yes, for close-up magic, they are not really used to that kind of, table hopping or maybe parlor magic, small theater. It's quite rare in Hong Kong and China too. So all of the stage, most of the stage that earn money is basically 100 people above. So small stage, bigger stage, medium stage. So basically all the show are in stage form. So so what we do is mainly focus on that direction. At that time, I don't know, close up can be that amazing until some TV shows, and I know I've said, wow, close-up magic can be that cool, you know. So so that's why that is we all started with stage magic, and
Mm,
that's the form that we can earn money with. And I know in the US, maybe in Europe, in UK, maybe different, but in our cultural, because we have a lot of annual dinners, we have a lot of street shows, we have a lot of small kind of like community shows. Those are almost of them are stage shows. But nowadays things have changed. More and more people, because the economy and the COVID change our behavior. So nowadays small theater shows are more and more popular.
mhm,
Still, stage show can earn money. You can do a lot of things, but more and more people can accept small shows, parlor shows, close-up shows. More forms can be created with magic. So, uh, unfortunately, there are less and less stage magicians like myself, manipulators, or and people who do stage magic. But still, different forms of magicians are creating in our Hong Kong, in our community. So I think it's mainly the cultural difference, not what at that time manipulation and stage magic is really popular. And when I studied magic, when I just started to become a professional, so probably not a choice, but a a a trend thing, at
mhm.
that time. But still, I love it. I love manipulation.
Yeah, well, you certainly made a very successful career out of it. Let me ask you about, you've said several times the business of magic, and
Hmm.
obviously putting a time frame on yourself. By the time you're 25, you need to be able to, make a living from magic. A
Yeah.
big aspect of that is the business side of magic, and I don't know the Hong Kong magic scene as obviously that well, but I know that there's incredible magicians there. Yourself, there's Henry Harrius, there's Zenith
Yeah.
Cock. I know a few. Um, Kind of a crowded marketplace. What did you do from a business point of view? Or what advice could you give anyone watching this video that kind of got you to a position relatively quickly where you
Hmm.
carved out a very successful career as a manipulator and a magician?
Mm. That's a very good questions, and pretty hard questions, because um there are things that, if I know you're a professional. If when you enter before you enter professional, if you are just an amateur magicians, uh, you only think about magic.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the only thing you have to think about. But when you enter professional, you have to make a living for yourself. There are a lot of things that you have to think about, and that's the most difficult part. And I've the first suggestion is you have to give a preparation, give the how should I prepare yourself to. You will need to learn a lot more than just magic. You need to learn marketing, you need admin, you have the need to learn about a lot of media things, you have the social with people, communication. So there are a lot of things that you have to do if you want to become professional. And the suggestion is, if you can understand these things before you enter the business, try your best to do that.
Mm,
And another suggestion that I think very important is that um, be unique, be
mhm,
yourself, and then try to do the best thing that you can do first, because not everyone can do everything. A lot of time when we just started magic, or maybe if you want to earn money, the direction might not be correct.
mm,
Uh, you may not earn any money with the magic that you love. So try to do the best, that when you have to see audience how they react, and what you do is the best, then you start with that direction, and everything will be easier that way.
mm,
Because I saw a lot of magicians, they try their best to try to push what they love, what they want to do, to their clients. But the point is, the client doesn't want it. He
mm.
want what they want, but at the same time, he thinks you do the other thing better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
So that's the thing. So just do the best thing that you can do, unique, and then understand the business beforehand. Because nowadays, at 15 years ago when I just started, there's no YouTube, there are no online tutorial to teach you how to maintain a business, how to become magicians, no channel like what you're doing right there to let people understand more about the industry. None of those. So you have to try and error, you have to make a lot of mistakes, you have to learn from a mistake and then, you know, learn from a lot of people. But nowadays you can go on YouTube, just type, how to do business or magic business, how to become magicians. There are a lot of suggestions that you can learn from. So this is the first step, and then try to unique your magic, and at the end, do the best magic that you can do, and that's the starting point of the business of magic. That's what I think it is. Yeah.
That's really good advice. And one other question on the business of magic as well. Obviously, a big part of that is creating a brand and having a brand identity and standing out in a marketplace and creating a
Mm-hmm.
niche. You said yourself there's a lot of manipulators in Hong Kong, and you went in as a manipulator. How did
Mm-hmm.
you stand out against already established competition when you started, which you have done so very successfully?
Yeah, that is a very interesting question. And the answer is in fact very simple. Just be better than other people, everyone else. Okay, that's the most simple answer, because if you are the best, then they will pick you. It's just that simple. But of course, the road to become the best is difficult. At that time, I was working a lot, and we are the top magicians in Hong Kong. But it's not the reason of we are famous or we have been on TV. It's just we really spend a lot of time in our work. We really think of magic every single day. At that time, I was young, so I can sleep less. Yeah, I can spend more time in the magic, and I have a lot of friends to talk about magic. So we can really work on our magic and bring the best stuff out, best performance material out. And so at that time, a lot of agency, a lot of clients will choose us. Although we are a little bit more expensive, but they will choose us because our quality are guaranteed. There are a few friends at that time. They are all in the same situation. They are also very great in magic. So we are young at the same time. We have new magic. It's different from the older magicians. And then we have energetic. We have new ideas of magic, and we can work with our clients to create their magic. So uh, we really spend a lot of time to become the top tiers of magicians. So I think this is the best way of being in the business. If you can't, I know this is the ideal situation, but if you really can't do that, then try your best to practice in not just magic, but communication. There's in fact, another route that you can do. The more people you know or connect to, the more possibility that you have. So this is another way that you can be professional. You can have a lot of jobs, although you might not be the best, but still you can have a lot of opportunities and chances to perform, or have geek. So that's the way. That's the two ways that I think is the best way to do it. And yeah, it's quite practical.
That makes absolute sense. It really does. And brilliant advice. And when you talk about being the best and showing everybody that you're the best,
Hmm.
how important are competitions to that? Because obviously you mentioned in the early days that you entered little competitions, but is competitions a way to show people, hey, I'm the best, or do you do that through your performance and just kind of word of mouth? Like,
Well, uh, I do think that competition is important if you can, because not everyone is, comfortable with competitions situations. So, uh, I do think that competition will increase the possibilities of what you can do in Magic
Mhm.
because you always strike for the best material that you have or the material that you don't usually use, but you still spend a lot of time on it. So making your abilities will be better. So I think this is a good way. And at the same time, of course, it's a good exposure to your magic communities. And at the same time, a lot of magicians is already professional. They may recommend you jobs and things like that.
Mhm.
And this is a good way to get exposure if you don't have any, chances. Okay. And if you're talking about getting more people, if you don't go competition, in fact there's another way to do that, is that I think that if you can do uh smaller shows or even charity shows to get more people involved,
Mhm.
more people to see your magic is a good way. Because one very interesting thing about charity show is that every single charity show, there's always some rich people or people who is with abilities right there. If you do a good job, people will like you and they will invite you to their events. It's quite a good thing. So I did that too. I did competition and I did a lot of charity shows to show people my magic when I just started my career. So yeah, both are good ways. And if you can do both, if you can't, just pick one of them and focus on it.
Mm. That's great advice. Really great advice. So let me ask you a question.
Hmm.
In looking at your career, we've got to the point where you're very, very successful. You don't have a problem getting clients.
Hmm.
You are highly in demand. Um, but obviously, we know you as a producer of magic, like a very prolific producer of magic. So my question is, when did that come to be? And what made you go in that direction? Because I can't imagine it was for a money thing because you're very successful. You're getting lots and lots of work. Lots of people are wanting to book you. You're getting very high-end clients and you're busy doing that. And then all of a sudden you go, you know
Hmm.
what? I'm really busy doing that. But now I'm going to create this entire other business as well, which has also gone on to be very successful, as we know. So, what made you decide to go down that avenue, and where did the origin stories to this come from?
Well, this is in fact when I was working a lot, I go to we record some TV shows, things like that. And there will be always some actors or maybe some musicians at the side and we'll chit chat. And I was young, so I don't mind, asking them some, advice, things like that. And there's one advice that really changed my life is that uh, one key point is that it's impossible to be always popular. I don't know how to translate better in English, but it's impossible to be always popular. What means that is if you're magicians, people may book you for maybe 10 years,
Mhm.
but you can't guarantee they will book you for 20 years, 30 years, and you will have
Mm,
jobs every single years because time is changing, the economy is changing, everything is changing, and like COVID, right?
very
So
true. Very, very true. Yeah.
yeah, and those are some some older actors they really talk about that. So if you can't try to do something else, something secure at the back side, you don't have to really spend a lot of time when you begin, but you can start something. You can do. There are a lot of people doing different direction. You can do stock market. You can do a lot of investment, things like that. But you can also start your own business, things like that. So what I did is at the time I was, oh right, yeah, they have an idea. So one day I think of, oh, let's do a DVD. At that time, Magic Tutorial DVD is quite a thing, but there's not too much manipulations
Mm,
tutorial. So let's do a ball manipulation tutorial, and then we talk with our friends Ian and then Boyan, from Croatia, and then we work out something, and then at the end we produced my first DVD, Bond, and it was quite good, and the money is not too bad. And I was like, seems like the business is possible. So let's start from there. So every single year we try to produce one thing or two thing. It's just trying. If I have the time, then I would do it. And so things are starting at that time. And at that time, not just the magic products, but in fact, we are doing two more things. One thing is we have a magic production company which do artist management, and also we do organize shows, things like that. And also we do a magic school, a Hong Kong magic school, and then we try to teach people more magic, and we get a lot of people involved in this thing. And so there are a lot of directions with a few of my partners, and we try to explore more possibilities in magic, not just performing, because as I said before, magic, you can't just perform because you don't know what's gonna happen to you. Because if someday I don't have my hands, I lost my hands, so what I'm gonna do? Mentalism, I don't think I can do that. So let's do something else, and that's how we started to do a lot of variety of things and try to survive as a magicians, but in different parts of our business. So that's how it started.
That's great. And let's dissect down some of the things that you were talking about. So, first of all, there's the aspect of Bonley Productions that we know all about, which is
Hmm.
your production of magic tricks and magic props. And
Yes.
uh, I mean, there are obviously, I'm not a manipulator by any stretch of the imagination. Ryland's more of a manipulator than me, but I'm not at all. But I have
Hmm.
friends that are manipulators, and they swear by everything that you bring out. Like, oh, if you need a dancing cane, it's Bon Lee's dancing cane. If you need a multiplying ball, it's Bon Lee's. If you need an appearing cane, it's Bon Lee's. You have developed a reputation in this industry, in a very crowded industry, to
Hmm.
be the go-to when it comes to manipulation devices. And I mean, that's amazing. Uh, it really
Yeah.
is.
Well, the thing what you're talking about is basically why it happens. I can explain because all the things that I produce in manipulation is something that I want to have.
Mm,
It's very interesting is that I want to have something. It's like my manipulation board, there's a story behind it. It's quite interesting. Is that I used to use some cheap manipulation board from China, and I stopped using it because I purchased Fakini from
mhm,
USA. And Fakini, after a few years, they stopped the
mm,
production because Fakini passed away, and then no one's carry on their business. So there are a lot of different brands coming out, JLs, like there's a Taiwanese 808 company, and then there's a China company. There are few brands that came out with their balls, and then I was like, I tried them out. I think they are okay, but I think they're a lack of something that I need. I personally use. So I starting to research about how to do that, and then I spent a lot of time, 1 or 2 years to research, and then contact the factory, try and error, and I lose some money sometimes because they can't do it, and then things like that. At the end, I have my own brand of balls and things like that. So that's kind of like an interesting thing about process is having something that I want to have and then making it into a product. So that's why a lot of manipulator will enjoy using our stuff because when I use it, I will try to adjust it to a level that stage magicians or manipulator can use that if I think it's okay, that means that it can release to the market. So that's how we treat our manipulation items and things like that. So a lot of items that you'll see me performing in the trailer because I really use them and I try them. So yeah, that's how the story of my manipulation stuff.
that's fantastic. And on top of all the manipulation devices, over the years, the effects that you've been bringing out have become even more ambitious, like electronic tables and electronic devices. And I think it started with Cube Wall, possibly
Mhm.
because I seem to remember Cube Wall was the first thing that is, you know, everybody had that, and obviously Ryland did it on Britain's Got Talent. Everybody used
Mhm.
Cube Wall. Even to this day, I think it's one of the most popular devices for cube magicians that perform
Mhm.
on stage out of anything. Like, was that kind of, I don't want to say a turning point, but was that a moment in your company's history where it was like, okay, this is really big? It felt like one of the biggest things you released at that point, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yes, well, there's two key products in our company. One of them definitely is Rubik's Wall. It's one of my biggest investment in Magic, and with a lot of risk. At the same time, it's COVID time, and it's crazy, so it's difficult to handle a lot of things. A lot of costs have gone up, and not too much people are working, and so it's difficult. And yet, it's I would say that there's a non-manipulation stuff. Is for myself is one of the biggest achievement
Yeah.
because I at the beforehand I only do a little bit of close-up mentalism thing, but not too much. But after the success of Rubik's War, our market really opens, and so we do a lot more different variety of different ideas, different concept things. So Rubik's War really opened a new market for us, for our company, for myself too. And but the really big break for my company is in fact manipulation ball. It's crazy that we have sold like 20,000 sets of manipulation balls around the world already. So it's around that we have produced that for a long time. So we did a lot of manipulation ball, but still, this is one of the best sellers in our company, and then it's still one of the best in the industry still. And so the big break is really manipulation ball, and afterwards another big break is the Rubik's Wall. That's also another crazy things.
Wow. Wow. But then since then, you've gone and produced so many things. Like,
Yeah.
uh, I mean, as a reviewer, I almost can't keep on top of everything that you produce. Like, so many great products as well. Like, I personally know the blaze candles because Ryland uses them all the time, and we've got like 8 of them or something. Like, they're amazing.
Yeah.
They're the best self-igniting candles I've ever seen. The jet fountains are awesome. There's been so many, your haunted deck, the electronic that there's so many things that have come out recently through your company that's just
Yes.
fantastic. That must you talk about a big investment. A lot of the things that are coming out now, a lot of the electronic devices and the tables and so on, there must have been a big investment in there as well. But I mean, it's
Yes.
paid off because there's so much great stuff that's coming out.
Well, luckily, because our really, how should I say this? Because in COVID really have us concentrate in the productions because we have nothing else to do. So every single year beforehand, we don't have a goal that how much products we should produce. But during COVID, so our goal is just produce one product per month, try to have something in our mind and try to achieve that things, and slowly we go for that direction. And that's why there we have, or in these few years, 5 years maybe, you will see a lot more stuff coming in and producing, and you will see a lot of new stuff and things like that. So basically COVID really pushed us at that direction because I perform less and then I teach less, but more in this production direction. So
Yeah.
that's what happened. It's just shift of efforts. Probably if there are more situation changes, there will be less. Who don't know? I don't know. But still, we try our best to keep up our production, keep our ideas to produce, things like that. But still, um, it's hard work.
I can imagine. I can imagine. And now that COVID is more behind us than ever
Hmm.
before. Obviously, the world has opened up and there's more performing opportunities than ever before. Are you still able to put as much time and effort into the production of new items? Because obviously, as somebody who performs and has a company arranging events, there's only so much you can do in a day. Like, is your focus shifting in a different direction again, or are you trying to juggle everything at the moment?
Well, in fact, my focus is really changed during COVID, and now, how should I say this? I try to not perform that much. I
Hmm.
try to do the things that I really want to do. I mean, at the old time before COVID, if there's a job, if they pay, I would do it. Okay. And if I spend a few days just to prepare a trick, it's fine. But nowadays, I will just do before commercial, I would just do easy jobs, easy to do jobs. If it's too complicated, I will just not do it. Why? Because I want to do things for myself, not for clients. Because when I've been working in as a professional for 15 years now, and 10 years of it is performing for clients. But I don't accept money. I don't receive too much things. I don't learn things. No, I do learn things, but it's not like I'm doing things for myself.
Yeah.
So nowadays, I try to do my own shows. I organize our own shows. If I do small theater shows, we try to create that, create piece to that I want to perform, but not the audience want to see, and become a little bit more selfish. But I want to be that because I don't need to do that anymore,
Yeah.
just for, I have other business to can I earn money for myself, so I don't have to spend 100% of my time to perform for someone else events and just be okay. When I finish job, I pack up all the things and go back home and have my dinner, and that's it. That's the thing. But I don't want to do that. So nowadays, I will spend more time producing our products. At the same time, we have our school, we will educate more people. And also recently in these 2 years, we have started a Hong Kong Youth Magicians Associations. We try to improve the magic quality of young magicians in Hong Kong because COVID really didn't helped a lot. So we want to have more people get involved, young people to get involved inside magic in Hong Kong. So that is one of the things that I want to give back to my magic community, and not just that, want to push the whole level of Hong Kong magic. So yeah, so the direction have changed a little bit, but product is still the same. We'll still do that, but we want to do more for myself, for magic, for the community, uh, not just business
Mm.
anymore.
That's great. And can we talk
Yeah.
a little bit about your school? So you've mentioned it a couple of times. When was that set up?
Hmm.
And if you could tell us about it, that would be fantastic. Like, if
Sure,
somebody's
sure,
watching
sure.
this, like if somebody's watching this video, because over here you talked about the cultural differences.
Hmm.
I'll be honest with you, over here in the UK and over in America, there's less focus on manipulation. There's a
Yes.
massively less focus on manipulation. And I find
Hmm.
it difficult because Ryland, for example, he's obsessed with manipulation, and like he spends every hour practicing with balls and cards and just sitting there watching your DVDs and Jeff McBride's DVDs, and I can't really give him much help because I'm genuinely interested. Like, if
Mm.
tell us about the school. Is it, if somebody's
Sure.
watching this and wanted to become a great manipulator or a great magician, is it something that people can travel over to do? How does it all work?
So, let me introduce my school a bit. So I started this Hong Kong Magic School, like I think in 2000. I don't remember to exact year, but I think 2012 or 2014, something like that. With a few friends, and also with Albert Tam, one of our eldest magicians, and his experience, magicians. And We started a school and we started to teach magic in different direction. One is, of course, the for the lay people, outwards course, and also we also promote a course which is in manipulations. It's a 1 year manipulation, kind of like a diploma course. So every week they will have one lessons and learn about from ball manipulation, card, thimble, coin, and silks, rope, basically every kind of stage magic. It's not just manipulation, but stage magic, and also dove, fire, and a little bit illusions, things like that. So we have a complete course about stage magic at the few years, and then every single year we will take in around 6 to 12 students, but that's before COVID. And then we try to teach more and more magicians to learn about stage magician because there's not too much education in stage magic.
Mhm.
And so we do that, and we also have some close-up course too. And at the same time, at that time there are some foreign magicians who want to learn. We also arrange some short course for them, maybe around 1 month or 2 weeks, things like that, kind of like a crash course, so they can learn a lot of stuff in a very short time. And so we do have those kind of course too. And after COVID, we also have, Zoom class, things like that. But the best, of course, I prefer to, face to face. That is the best way to learn magic. And yeah, so we teach a lot of things like that. But after COVID, we stopped for 3 to 4 years of those stuff. But slowly now we in these 2 years we are slowly picking things up. We are starting for some outside course for lay people first. Then maybe after some time we'll start up back for the full stage magic course. And still today and this year, or we already have 4 to 5 students, but just private class, things like that. We can also do that. So, and that's the thing about our Hong Kong Magic School. Yeah, we just try to share our magic in any kind of forms. And we do have some magician, if they have an act, they send an act, we give them, comments, opinions, advice, things like that. And we think of, ideas, things like how to improve them. We do have those kind of, calls too, to let people to work on the act based things. So yeah, that's my school.
Wow, that's fantastic. Does the school tie in with the youth initiative that you were talking to us? You were talking about.
uh Not really, not really. It's just the school, everything is separated, but they will help each other. It's like
Mhm.
my student, after some time they have an act, and then for our association we organize competition, stage competition, close-up competitions, kids competitions, and so let them to really have the stage to perform their magic, because I think it's very important for younger magicians because they don't have a platform to show their magic or to try out their magic. So we try to make more possibility for them. So yeah, so they help each other, in fact.
That's amazing. That's fantastic. And
Mm.
you talked about bringing young magicians in Hong Kong up. That's fantastic that you're doing that because there's I really do think that young magicians, well, they are the future. And
Yes.
I don't know over there, but over here in the UK at least, a lot of magic clubs are kind of dying off, and they used to have sort of junior sections, but they don't now. There's less and
Mhm.
less places that young magicians can learn how to actually do magic outside of YouTube and online and places like that. So, having something that you're setting up over there in Hong Kong, that's amazing.
I totally agree with you because the young people are really the future of magic. Because they don't if they don't survive or they don't get into the magic community, uh, there will be no more magic in the future, and the
That's
business will go definitely will go down because you will have new people coming in to keep the magic uh, industry active. We'll get old. We'll get old, and we can't do every kind of magic. We'll need young people to do those magic shows, energetic illusionists, things like that. and you need them, manipulators, things like that, because that's not for, our hands are getting slower every day. So yeah, that's we need them. And if they can make more people like magic, then we'll have, more possibilities for shows, for education, for a lot of things. So we need them to be here for us, and yeah, that's what I want to do.
That's amazing. So my question to you is, do you have anything left on your magical bucket list that you want to achieve? I mean, just in the last 50 minutes that we've spoke, you have achieved so much from somebody who got into magic rather late on in life, which is unusual in this industry. You've
Yeah.
carved out an incredible career as a magician, as a manipulator. You've set up schools, an incredible production company. You talked about having an agency and setting up events, and you've done so. My mind is blown with how much that you've actually done and how many different aspects of your business there are that I wasn't even
Hmm.
aware about, as well as what you're doing just for magic in general. Like, if you decided to retire today and say, that's it, I'm calling it a day, your legacy. But I mean, I know that you're not going to, and I know that you've got many, many, many more things that you want to achieve.
Yeah.
So, what do you have left to? Is there something very specific on your magical bucket list that you want to do?
Well, I do. There's one thing that I always want to do, but I'm not sure I can do it. But I always want to do one thing is that I want to have a FISM award. I
You
always
could.
want to, but I will try, and when I have a time, maybe someday. I don't know. Because it's more like a hobby at that time, for me nowadays. So if I really have the time, and then I will think about it, to do something for that. Because FISM is not about winning anymore. It's about just to have fun with friends, just show your magic, and try to have some award things like that. So that's one of my bucket lists that I want to do. Uh, yeah, so that's one other thing. And then I do have another thing I want to do is that I really want to have a full show of for myself, not for smaller theater. I did smaller theater, but I really have illusion, things like that. But that is gonna be difficult. But still, I will. It's my goal. If I have a time, if everything goes well, I can still do it. So that's another thing that I really want to do. So yeah, the two
Wow,
things.
that's fantastic. That's amazing. I think if you wanted to achieve that, you could. That's great.
I can try.
Before we finish off, let me just ask you another couple of questions. The first one I want to ask you about, going back to you as a production company,
Hmm.
uh, one of the questions I get on this channel, probably more than any other, is creativity. A lot of people that are coming into magic now, they want to be a creator. They want to have their name on a box that's sold all around the world. They want to be able to see it on the shelves of every magic dealer. They want to be a creator. It happens quite a lot. As somebody who's created a lot of magic and a lot of magic tricks over the years, is there any advice that you can give to somebody that wants to be a creator with regards to the creative process?
Hmm. Um, this just if I can talk about this topic for 1 hour, but I will make it short. I will make it short. Is that the first thing you will need to do if you want to produce your own products, or if you in there are different directions in creativity. If you want to produce a product, it's one way. If you want to create new magic, it's not a product, and it's another way. Okay, so I would suggest that use the things that you are using now, that the repertoire that you are doing, and then try to think of how to improve what you have. Okay, so you have a lot of things. So if you, for example, some card tricks, or some cups and balls, or you have knows some sponge. Okay, let's start with that. So some very beginner stuff, but still there are a lot of possibility with these kind of things. Okay, so focus on what you're doing right now. So for example, if you're doing cups and balls routine, micro armors routine, then you can think of, okay, so now I'm using the micro armor sets, and then I feel like the balls can be a little bit heavier, or maybe the cups can be a little bit lighter, or there are a lot of ways that you can improve in that trick to make your performance easier.
Mhm.
So we can start with that, and then can we innovate new effect with that thing? For example, nowadays you have a lot of different cups. You have paper cups. You have a lot of uh the what was that clear cups. You have a lot of different coffee mugs, things like that. Can we change that into anything? And then we start from there, and slowly you will create something unique, and that will be either your performance material, or it can also be a product. So this is kind of a way that when I think of producing or having creative ideas, when we have to have something like that, we just start with what is just next to us. What we have right here, for example, I have like here, I have a key right here. Yeah, and I think of how to make this key like into magic, and we can make it even bigger, things like that. So we can do a lot of things, things like that just by our side, and we can just think of how to do things just by our side. So this, I think, this is the best way to create something. Just start with something that we are good at, or we are very confident to get, and just start with there, and then slowly when you are going that route, you will see around the side, you will see, oh, there's in fact cups and balls. There's some bigger balls. Okay, you can do ball manipulation. Okay, and then you can see, oh, there are even crystal balls, and you can do contact jugglings, and then you can do a lot of things that create more possibility. So start from the things that is you're good at or what you want to do, and then slowly walk upwards and create more, and then think of more possibilities. So this is one of the advice that I have for if you're just beginning to create your own magic, is definitely uh, what you should do. And one more advice is don't say no to any ideas. Okay, just write things down, just mark it down, or save it in your phone, things like that, and don't deny any possibilities, and just save it down, because you can't do it today, but possibly few years later, when you're just reading your notebooks, and you, oh wow, this idea is in fact can be much better. The method can be changed because the knowledge at the time already changed. Your person can already change. You can merge that things into your routine. So in that way, you can create a lot more. So don't deny any possibility. So that's another suggestions that I will give to if you want to create your own magic. So that's the two advice that I have now.
I mean, that's wonderful advice. It really is, especially for somebody that's been so creative. Do you work with other artists or
Yes,
yeah? So if
I
somebody's out
work with
there and
a
they've
lot.
got a really great idea and they think, you know what, I want to bring this to market, I want to work with you, how would they be able to do that? What would the process look like?
Well, this is quite simple. Just send me an email or send me a DM on IG or Facebook, and then we will just review the ideas. And then if it's good, then we'll think of how to achieve that, and we'll work out a deal, and then we can produce it. One good thing about having cooperate with us. We have cooperated with a lot of magicians, and is our production is definitely much cheaper than in the UK or in the US. So yeah, in fact it's quite easy. Just send me a message, show me the trick, and then if it works, then we will try to make it into reality.
That's great. That's fantastic. And on the subject of working with people and your own releases, is there something I know that everything's shrouded in secrecy and you're probably working on a million things at the moment, but is there one particular kind of okay, this could be quite big? Is there like something that you're really excited about that's coming in the next few months or something that's just arrived or um that you can like tease us with? Not I don't know. If you can't, that's fine, because I know that there's so much that you're working on.
Well,
But
in fact, I do have one thing. I just place it at the side. Just in fact, you will receive it probably, I don't know, next week or probably
wow,
next 2. We'll have these 2 things coming out soon.
hopping key.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a key based on hopping half, ideas, things like that.
Wow.
So this is a set.
That's a
So
great idea. That's a
yeah.
wonderful idea.
So this is what you'll have. It's,
Oh, they look fantastic.
to normal to gimmicks. So
Wow.
this is the new sets, and also we have this. This is the. Let me show you. So this is the shell sets.
Oh, wow.
So one of them is a shell, but it's difficult to tell. But
Oh,
still,
wow.
this is a lot of ideas, things like that. So this is one of the project that we have been working on for a few months, and you'll get them. So it's
I
pretty.
love magic with keys. Obviously I do a lot of key magic. I've brought out a couple of my own, and
Yeah.
I just think it's the perfect EDC because it's just hanging there on your keychain. You can do it anytime, anywhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
So this is one of the project that we are working on, and then after this, we're working on a lot more ideas with this concept of things. But when you receive it, you understand because there are a lot of things that we can do with keys, especially probably this is the last 20 years of keys, so let's treasure it, right?
Yeah, exactly. 100. Totally agree with you.
Yeah.
So a lot of the magic that not every, I mean, you're bringing more close-up magic out than ever before. Is that
Mm-hmm.
because, as an industry, there's a lot of people that are really interested in close-up magic? And it's a wise business decision to make. And do you think would you ever see a time where you kind of just focusing entirely on close-up, or will you always have that sort of stage magic there as well?
Well, nowadays more and more people are working with me. So there are close-up magicians and they're great close-up magicians. So they will give me more ideas and then we can produce a lot of more close-up magic. Personally, if you give it to me, I can't do that much of close-up magic because it's not my thing. I can do some, but probably not good. But still, stage magic is still my thing. I will still work on those things because that's my main focus. But still, closer magic fascinate me. The production and then the magic itself, and then they'll. You see, when when we were doing TV shows, we create a lot of strange effect, and then it's difficult to achieve in real life, but only for the TV, for the social media. And we just focus on that. We try to create something that we can do in real life, but still very amazing. So I kind of merged with my TV experience and then nowadays with my productions, things like that. And slowly we can get out more and more closer magic. Even for the ashtray, it is at the beginning, it was just an effect in a TV show.
Hmm.
It's just an idea from my friend. He used it in his show, and then his effect is having a love letter, crush it up, place it in the ashtray, and then poof, and it vanish. It's just like that. And then slowly we change it into adapting into close-up match situation, and we create something, and what we have in Flame now. So we have more and more possibility to perform with close-up, tools, things like that. So, yeah, that's one of the direction. But stage magic will never die in my heart. It's still one of my favorite magic. So we'll keep on doing that.
That's amazing. And one last question about that. Put aside your manipulation balls and put aside
Hmm.
cube, because obviously we know how strong a pillar that is for your company. And out of everything that you've produced, is there
Hmm.
is there one product that I know you love them all, else you wouldn't have brought them out, but is there one thing that you can go, that's my favorite. I really like that.
Wow, that's a difficult question, huh?
Yeah.
It's difficult.
You might not be able to
Um,
answer it because there's so many wonderful things that you've brought out over the years, but I just
yeah,
wondered
but
if
I
you.
do have, in fact, I do have one of my favorite because there's a very interesting long history of it. Is um the Rose 2.0.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. The Rose the production, something like that. Yeah, that's a great effect. You know, a lot of stage magicians use it. It's not difficult at the same time. There's that magic. The first time I produced this magic is in when I just started, probably 1 or 2 years later, my first DVD produced. So that magic is 2012, the first time I produced it. Uh, yes, 2012. So this year is 2024. So it have been 12 years. I've been selling this magic for 12 years now. And
Wow.
still today, we still have orders of it. People still use it. And so I'm very grateful because this proves that some magic really don't die. They if it works, it works. And I really like this because a lot nowadays, a lot of products, they are kind of like a trend product. They sell for 1 or 2 years and then they will be vanished. They will not be reordered or things like that. But if we have product that we can sell our whole lives, if try 30 years maybe, that would be great. I love that. I love this concept. So that's one of my products have been my side for many years. I've been using it and a little magician using it and it still sells today. So yeah, it's not a significant product for closer magician, but still it's significant for myself and is is something that I really appreciate that magic can really live forever.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And we're going to finish this interview with one final question, which
Mm-hmm.
is if you could, for everybody watching this, and this has been an amazing interview, I've loved it. If anybody, for everybody watching this, if you could give one piece of advice based off your incredible career for anybody watching this, about anything, about magic or business or anything, one piece of advice, what would it be?
Mm, uh, well, one piece of advice. Well, there's one. There's one. There's one. Uh, don't give up. Stay passionate. Just keep on doing because for the last few years it's been difficult for a lot of magicians uh, with our professional lives or our personal lives. There are a lot of things have changed. So don't give up, keep passionate, and keep on going because uh, there's a long time ago when I asked my teachers if I can't win in competitions, how can I be a successful magician? And his answer is quite simple. Uh, you just be here. You just be a magician. You outlast everyone else. You just always be a magician, and you'll be success. So that's the thing. Just don't give up. Be passionate about your magic, and keep on doing it. Just don't give. Even though sometimes you may not be a professional, you may not use this for your living, or you may not contact your magic 24 hours, but still you can love this, love magic. You can keep on doing magic because every minute you spend on magic is something that you love and do the things that you love, be passionate. So that's the biggest advice.
That's probably the best advice I've ever heard. It really has. And like I said, this has been an incredible interview. Thank you so much, Bond. I really appreciate this. I'm a
Thank
huge
you
fan.
very much.
Okay, you know
And
me.
I will see you guys in Blackpool. And one more thing, one more good news is yesterday we just confirmed I will do a lecture in Blackpool. So I'll see you there.
That's amazing. There's a great piece. Oh, I can't wait for that. That's a brilliant.
Yeah,
Excellent.
yeah, yeah. I'll think of
100%.
something new and share with you guys, and hope you guys will enjoy.
And anybody that's watching this, if they want to follow you on all of the socials, how would they do so? What's the best way to follow you?
Well, nowadays it's IG, Instagram, so you can search Bond the Magic. Okay, and also you can also search Bondly on Facebook. You can find me too. So this is two biggest platform.
And in terms of buying your products, obviously a lot of stuff goes all over the world through Murphy's Magic. You can find your products in every magic shop around the world. But as somebody who has shopped from your shop directly many times, the shipping is super fast and it's a great experience. And you do ship worldwide. So if anybody wanted to go directly to you,
Then they can go to our website. So it's going to be magiclismstore.com. Okay, so just put in the description and
yeah, it'll be down
people
there.
can find
Down
it.
there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
So yeah,
and all of your products are on there, and obviously, there's a mailing list that you can sign up to. You do not spam people, I know for a fact, and there's lots and lots of things in there that you
yeah,
won't get in magic shops. Like I remember putting a massive order in with you a little while ago, and I just
yeah,
found loads of stuff on your site that I didn't even know. Like there's the best version of Silk to Egg that I've ever seen with a
yeah,
cube. It's just incredible. It's like there's so much hidden stuff in your website that
yes,
you can't get anywhere else. It's well worth tinkering around on there.
yeah. So make sure you check out every single corner because we have a lot of stuff there. So yeah, it's interesting.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'm excited to see your lecture in Blackpool. Congratulations on that. That's awesome. And yeah, I want everyone that's watching this video to do me a favor. One, leave a comment down below and let Bon know what you thought. But then secondly, go follow him on social media, which you probably already do, and then go and buy everything that this man puts out because there's a lot of great material. And
Thank you very much.
I'm a big fan. So one more time, thank you so much for coming on the channel. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for invitations. Glad to talk to you about magic, and it's very great to share my passion.
You're fantastic. You're a real inspiration, and that came across brilliantly, especially with everything that you're doing to help the youth of it's just brilliant. I'm blown away. I'm even more a fan now than I was coming in, and I was a fan before, so I'm even bigger fan now.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. On behalf of Bon Lee, I will be back again next Saturday with another Talk Magic. But until then, I'm Craig. This is Bon Lee, and this is Talk Magic.